Okay, so recently I've gotten a lot of weird comments about uh, why most of my TikToks were made to be standing with feminism and trying to promote it and bring attention to it, but a lot of mostly men in my comments are very against the idea of feminism existing because they claim that the world already has feminism and women's rights, which is not needed anymore.
Which is absolutely not true, and we are here to talk about that today. As you can see, what is going on right now in the world, people are still claiming that feminism is not needed. When literally women in some countries can't even speak. They can't even speak, they don't have a voice on their own.
Now, when I mentioned that point, they're mostly like, well, that's not because of men, but it was because of religion, which is completely a different conversation, but at the same time the same. Because in that country, the men do have rights to do whatever they want, but not the women, which is not only about just religion. It's about men using religion as a way to oppress women.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm not a religious person. I do not believe in religion. I do not believe in God. But it's still wrong. You can believe in what you want. I don't say you don't have to believe in God and whatever. But if you have a religion, it is still wrong to make women not have a voice because of a religion. It is wrong to do that. It is wrong to take away their rights to speak, take away the rights to express themselves. I'm not against religion, but I'm against the idea to take away rights from women that they deserve to have. They can't even go to a doctor on their own. They are not allowed to get treated by a male doctor in these countries. And that is completely wrong. And that is one point why we need feminism.
Many ways are also not only these. Personally, I live in a country where women do have rights, but just because I currently live in a country where women have rights doesn't mean that
They have
I
rights.
should. Yeah, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't speak for other women that don't have a voice.
Exactly. Feminism speaks for other women, speaks for the LGBTQ community, and speaks for transgender women and men. We speak for men too, and people do not realize that. Yes, a lot of feminism standards from many people are not right or explained wrong. Feminism is there to show people that women need rights in countries where they don't have rights, in countries where they have rights. Um, they are there to help people, not only women.
It's kind of honestly at one point you run out of energy because you have to protest for it for centuries.
Exactly.
Until this day, you still have to protest for it, and men don't realize that. It's only that women had rights very recently. Maybe it was like, for some countries it was 40 years ago, for some countries it was 200 years ago. No matter what, these countries, these years, aren't that long ago if you really, think about it. Uh, Thinking about the fact that women didn't have rights that long ago still promotes that just because they had rights up until not that long ago doesn't mean that you don't need feminism anymore. There's so many things in the world that are
Wrong.
yeah, and feminism can its main purpose is to fight for women, but it doesn't mean it doesn't support everything else, like every human right possible. The rights for men, women, children, humans,
LGBTQ communities.
people of color, people of no color.
Exactly. We are fighting for people. And we need feminism in many cases. And I know that TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and many other platforms don't like having these words on their platforms, but I'm trying to censor them out whenever I can. Women can't even get an abortion legally. Now in the US, it is illegal to get an abortion, and in many other countries, you have to get to a exhausting procedure of appointments to be even considered to have an abortion. And it does not matter to them if you got raped, if you got pregnant accidentally. It doesn't matter. You still can. You have used protection, and it still can happen, no matter what. No matter if you have the spiral, no matter if you use a condom or any other form of protection, it still can happen, and the chances aren't that low. And I think abortion should be legal because
Sometimes abortion is legal in most countries, but they say it's legal, but then when you try to get an abortion, and other countries be like, book 1,000 appointments and we might reject it. But it's still seen as legal, even though you have to fight and try your best to get an abortion, yet it's still not accepted.
Exactly. And that is just sad. And we have so many things. There are so many, and we are not talking about all men. We are talking about many cases, but not all men. There are so many cases where women are afraid to go to the police because they get abused at home, sexually abused, raped outside of their home. And they are afraid to go to the police because the police won't do anything.
It's not only that the police won't do anything, but it's also about they try to get it on the media, and then there's people shutting it down as if like, no, it didn't happen, you don't need feminism.
Exactly. There's people that say, oh, it isn't that important, and you don't need to go to the police. It's normal. He won't do it again, and everything like that. And it's just stupid, because if a man hits you or abuses you, he will probably do it again. There's so many cases of women that are afraid to go to the police because they are afraid what the man might do to them after, or if he finds out.
Just because you reported to anyone else of your story where you were a victim, just because you reported doesn't mean that it automatically makes you safe.
Exactly. And in most cases it doesn't. And that is just sad. It is just sad where we are in the world right now. What is happening to the US, what is happening in so many countries right now. We need feminism. We need feminism for many, 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 many reasons. And people don't realize that and still are arguing against it and arguing, hey, you don't need feminism, you already have right. Yeah, but if you are having a simple job interview, men are most likely to get the job more because men can't get pregnant. Men are stronger than women, and if a woman gets accepted in a job, then they might as well have lower salaries than men. And if you would ask about it, it would like, yeah, women are most likely weaker, or they need more days off because of this or that.
A lot of
that
people,
is not true.
Yeah, a lot of people have argued that feminism is just used by corporations and companies to push, like, is using it as a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Which it's not what I stand for, and it's not what we stand for. What we're trying to fight for or protest for is that you should just demand the same treatment for both genders and both everything that feminism was made for. That's what we're protesting for. We're not protesting for some company's marketing strategy or attention, because frankly, if I wanted attention, I would have done so much more things to get me attention. Feminism is not one of them. people that are trying to protest and have protested for years about feminism still don't have the attention that they deserve. So this not an attention way of like trying to get views or whatever. It's simply because I've tried my small amount of power to protest for feminism or human rights in general.
Exactly.
And yet it's still been shut down by so many people because they're like, well, you're not doing that much of an effect, you should just give up and not stop protesting. Like,
Exactly.
no.
Every voice is important. If you are out there watching this video right now and thought before, my voice doesn't matter, there's so many people already doing that and everything, that is wrong. Every single voice matters. Every single voice matters. And it doesn't matter if you live in that country where women don't have a voice, or if you live inside of the country. I mean, it matters there because apparently they get arrested and everything. But if you're outside of the country, spread awareness. Post about it on social media. Do everything you can with your voice. And it seems like it might not help, but maybe it will help. And later on, you will be glad that you are a part of this community, helping women to get a voice, helping people to get a voice. Not only women, we are not only standing for women, we stand for equality, we stand for human rights. And that is what people need to understand. And what I forgot to mention before, right now in the US, Trump got elected and everything. Women that are married to men do not have a right to vote anymore. Or I'm not sure if it's already got through or if it's only on paper and it only has to be signed and everything. But I saw it and I read about it, and I think it was rather on paper and in discussion of doing that, or it's already through. So I do not want to spread false information. It is good to inform yourself about it, just
Even
in case.
if the fact that politicians are talking about it should already say enough.
Exactly, it should already say enough. It should already say enough that transgender people that are a woman having a passport being registered as male, or transgender people that are men being registered as a female on their passports. That is just insane. That is just insane to me, because it took so long to fight for their rights, to fight for our rights, and right now we're just going back. We don't make any steps forward, we're just going back. What are we supposed to do?
If we see that what Elon Musk did, his famous pose, that's supposed to be it's a bit
A heart out?
yeah, but if a woman did that, what do you think the reactions would be?
Exactly. The reactions would not be good towards that. They would try to cancel a woman, and the fact that people literally tried to took pictures out of content from other women politicians and were like, yeah, she did that too, she did that gesture too, speaks so much about where we are right now in the world, and we need to fight against it. And people that are at TikTok commenting something like that it doesn't matter and you should protest in that country, they don't even know how much it would take to get in the country. And especially as a woman, you would probably not even be able to get in that country. They don't know what's going on, and they need to learn about feminism. They need to learn about that.
It's not, some people say that feminism is oppressing, especially for the younger generation of men, which is not true. If you feel offended by feminism, then you probably just have, I won't say an ego, but I'd say you have a weak ego. You think like
Yeah, or you got raised very, very wrong.
it could be that you're just insecure enough to like let anything let anything offend you,
My septum.
especially
I'm so sorry.
What?
I did the septum move. To all people out there that are watching this right now, I have a septum piercing, and the famous move, I just did it. Okay, keep going.
I forgot.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you feel offended by feminism, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, what is offensive about fighting for a woman's right? Like, why does seeing a woman in power hurt a man so much? Why seeing a woman having a voice hurt you so much? You might be afraid that I wouldn't get it, but at one point I wasn't a feminist. And I didn't understand feminism because I was like, well, why are you being so extra? You're very offended easily. I was like, the more I grew up and I realized you really don't have a place in society as a woman.
Exactly. You
And
don't.
uh, I basically decided to open up my brain and just learn. And then I realized that we really don't have rights. I wasn't a feminist before, but now I am.
So, that does not mean that she was against feminism before. She just didn't really know much about feminism, and she learned about it more and more and more. By the way, for all the people that are trying to make hate comments down there, don't do it. No, but there's so much going on. If you are a woman and going to a hospital, oh, that is a very, very. If you're going to a hospital and have a problem, the first thing a doctor will tell you is lose weight. Even though you're skinny or something, even though if you're not skinny, it doesn't even have to mean that you are unhealthy or something. It doesn't have to mean that you're unhealthy or that you're not doing enough. There are people out there that have serious conditions that they can't even lose weight easy. So, the first thing doctors will tell you when you are going to a hospital with a problem that doesn't even concern weight, lose weight. And that speaks so much.
As for that, there is a stereotypical thing about men gaining weight after they have children, which is, I mean, do you logically say that to yourself again and think men would gain weight after having children and it would be completely normalized? Now, say it again to yourself a few times in your head and look at how weird it sounds because he's not the one carrying the pregnancy for 9 months.
Exactly.
The woman that is carrying the pregnancy for 9 months would be going through extreme. It can cause blindness, giving birth. It can cause death. It can cause, I don't want to say it, but like it can cause extreme ripping.
Extreme damage.
And it can make you go blind. Like that is true that all of these side effects are during birth. And then it's obviously normal that you're gonna have body things happen to you after birth because you carried a child.
Exactly.
You're gonna have stretch marks. You're gonna have a lot of weight, and that is a mom body, which should be the normal thing. It shouldn't be a man gaining weight after getting a child. I mean, not like there's anything wrong with it. I get that being a dad has to like give you some sort of comfort that you gain weight.
Exactly.
But why is it looked at so disgusting? Like after
if a woman gains weight.
But it's completely normal that a man does it.
Exactly.
Even though he wasn't the one carrying the child.
A woman can't even breastfeed in public, but they can control the baby's hunger. They can just tell the baby to shut up and don't scream right now. And it should be normalized because breasts are not made for sexual things. Breasts are there to feed a child.
Its main purpose is to feed a child.
Exactly.
And it's so sexualized. Breasts are so sexualized to the point where a man is so used to watching certain
things.
adult films, I'll say that.
Yeah.
And to the point where breasts are just sexualized, to the point where you see them being used for their own purpose, that it's so disgusting to you. I think a woman should have the right to pull her breast out in public
And
because
feed
her
their
child
children.
is hungry.
Exactly. The child is screaming. The child wants food. And I'm honest with you that ready milk you do is not the best way to feed your child. The most natural and best way is to feed your child with your breasts. And that is totally fine. And it should be totally normal that a woman feeds their child even in public. Yes, as a sample, if you are somewhere like big malls, they often have like a room or something where they can do that. But if you're on a train or something, you don't want to get in that bathroom. Often these bathrooms and trains are a bit questionable. a bit much questionable actually. And you do not want to do this. You do not want to get your child in that environment and feed your child on a toilet that looks pretty much disgusting. And it's disgusting because people do not take care of these things. People do not take care of a public toilet somehow. Even though it makes total sense that you clean after yourself, but often people don't do that. And you do not want to get in that toilet. Or public toilets in general are pretty much, if they're not in malls, at least in Europe, mall public toilets are pretty much clean and you could go there. But often somewhere else, I think it should be allowed to let your kid have some milk if it wants some.
Would you drink a woman's milk now?
Excuse me? No.
It's
I love it. Oh my god. No, I would not, because it's not for me. It
but
doesn't
you
matter.
have, at one point in your life, you have.
Everyone has, probably. Almost everyone.
I don't know, almost everyone.
I bet there's people that only do it with formula. Whatever.
But at one point,
If you next thing, because I don't want to keep talking about that. If you are a woman and want to get sterilized, in most country you have to have like 8 children or something.
In most countries, if you're a woman born, just literally a woman born, you will literally be circumcised as a woman and not even done in a surgically safe way for a child. You will literally be, I don't know how to tell you, but it doesn't even look like an organ anymore.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not making fun of anyone that has it because it was against their consent.
We're not making fun of anyone here. But if you want to get sterilized at a young age, as a sample, you're 20 years old, you don't want to have children, and everyone is trying to pull against you, being like, but what if you want children later? But what if this? But what if that? And you have to pay so much to get sterilized. And abortions are still not legal.
What was the condition called of
Endometriosis?
that word? That word. You also should have the, like, at least I know it's gonna cost a surgeon or a doctor or the government in general. It's gonna cost you, but why should it cost you that much? And then when you have that condition, you are constantly expected to go to work every day, even if you have that condition.
I personally have endometriosis. I am having endometriosis, and I can speak for these people that have this condition, and often you are not able to go to work or to do anything because you're in so much pain. You feel like you have to throw up. You feel extreme back pain, extreme cramps and everything together, and you are not able to work. And people still expect you to go to work. And I think people with this condition should get free treatment. People with conditions like that, or people, as a sample, people that do not choose to be blind,
Yeah.
should get free treatment too. so they can see, because I think it should be normal.
In this country, you can. I've been blind for as long as I can remember. Every time I would need glasses or something, it'd be like, as a child, you don't really have to As a child, you don't really have to pay for the lenses, but you have to pay for the glasses. And it's possible that you can get the government to help you out with paying for it. But that is so many appointments, so many requests, so many appointments. It will probably take you years before they convince you, before they are convinced to pay for your blindness. I don't choose to be blind. I'm literally just born. The first time I had contacts, I almost cried because I've always had the feeling of having to wear something on my face in order to see like a human.
Exactly, and I think things like that, treatments that a human really needs to function normally, should be for free. The government has so much money, the country has so much money, and they are spending it on user things, like
So I could say like putting it on war, maybe that on
putting
military.
it on war, I mean, military is not really useless because you still need protection for your country, whatever, but putting it on war.
All of the money went to war. These I can't confirm like these.
And we are
rich...
not we are not saying that it is not good to help other people in war. It is good to help people, but
You use it to cause war.
that's what we're talking about. We are not talking about the money they give to people to help them. We use this money to create war, to make war, and that is not good. We're seeing what is going around on the world right now, and that is not good. The war in Ukraine, Trump is almost starting World War III.
Yeah, and they don't have to worry about it.
Exactly, they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about not seeing anything because they're blind. They don't have to worry about not being able to do anything because you have endometriosis, or not able to do normal tasks because you have other illnesses, or not being able to do anything because you have a mental illness. They don't care about that. They don't have to worry about that because they can buy everything. They have everything.
You know, I'm still thinking about drinking a woman's breast milk. I'm thinking you could cook with it.
I mean, I think people use it for cooking. Some people use it for cooking, I think. I mean, it's a good alternative, I guess. I never tried it, but if they're happy with it, it's fine. If they have some leftover milk.
I wonder if anybody has ever drank their own breast milk.
I bet they did.
Do you think that she just gets so tired of doing all the housework that she just pulls out her own breast and...
That is very weird humor. You gotta understand that this is very weird humor. So...
It's a suggestion. I think you should be paid to be a mother. Even though some countries do that. But you should be paid to be a mother, like extra. More than... I'm gonna say it's gonna sound problematic, but more than a man can. Because imagine being pregnant for 9 months. Do you understand how temperamental you're gonna get? How you're gonna have no patience to do anything. Constant pain, constant mood swings, everything that just changes your hormones completely because your body is using all of its power to create literally a human being inside of you. It's literally creating it.
And after you give birth to a child, you often get sent back home after 3 or 4 days in the hospital, which is not right, by the way. That is definitely not right.
At least, like...
No.
I think what you should do in hospital, if I ran a hospital, I would be like, everyone that gives birth there should be leaving with like a free package of like how to take care of your baby and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That would be nice.
I think you should get like a month's worth of diapers.
I think some hospitals do that. Some.
No, I think women should be getting spoiled, especially if it wasn't they didn't
Exactly.
consent to it.
But back to the topic. After you get sent back home, not all men, but many men still are expecting their wives to have a cook for them, so the men have a ready, hot, cooked meal on the table when they come back from home. But they don't realize their wife, their woman, gave birth to a child. She is taking care of their child or children, getting them ready for school, bringing them to school, picking them up, feeding them, cleaning the house. Cleaning the house, yes, that is very, very, very true. Because they do that. They clean the house.
What did you just do?
Okay, but basically, they are doing everything at home and so much more, and they are still in pain probably and everything. And I'm not saying all men. Many men take care of their wives during that time, but many men do not care about their wives after that time and during that time. And they be like, oh yeah, I go to work, I'm bringing the money home. And what does she do? She does everything else. She does all of the household chores. She takes care of the children. And it is more exhausting than you might think. Because as a newborn child, you don't even want to know how often that child wakes up during the night, wants to get fed, changing diapers, and more and more and more and more. There is so much in taking care of a children and taking care of a house combined together that is just so exhausting. And people should not be like, oh, you're just a mother and everything. The dad brings the kid to school or cooks a lazy meal like mac and cheese or something. It's like, oh, he's such a good dad and everything. But if the mother does it, it's completely normal. No one, or almost no one would tell her, hey, you're such a good mom for doing that. Or she's a lazy mom for just cooking mac and cheese or something like that. And it is just sad that it went like that, because being a mother is so exhausting.
I mean, coming from someone that didn't have a good mother.
Yeah.
But just doesn't stop you from speaking for other mothers.
Exactly. Yeah, we just wanted to talk about feminism. I hope y'all can catch up with our ADHD because we switched topics so much. This is my first, or our first, long video.
Podcast
video. Yeah, I hope that many people see this. I hope that people are willing to understand that we need feminism, that people are willing to understand that this is important for everyone, not only women, for everyone. And I hope you all have a good day.